Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhavaitumashake Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Krishna Svadamo Bhavate Dharmanyadisa Kalunasta Krishna Mesha Puranarko Dunodita Sabadi Sarani Premamaya Bhagavata Krishna Shriyanga Gahenayata Gopya Krishna Ranga Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So this is Saturday Bhagavatam class, January 4th, 3rd, 2026, going on. So we're reading stories from the Bhagavatam, and we read about the Indra killed Ripchasura, who's a Brahmin, and so we're reading chapter 6, Canto, chapters 13, 14, and 15. And there's different names here. Indra, Ripchasura, and talk about Ripchasura's previous life. Ripchasura, in this life, he was a demon. He's a son of Twasta, right? He was called a demon because he was against the godly people. He was a Vaishnava Aparadi, at least externally, but he's a very amazing person because his birth was from a demoniac connection, non-devotee family, but in his heart he had pure devotion for Vishnu, because that's his samskara. So these stories have different names, but you should identify that this is us. Because in this story here, there's a human being, and a person. Human being has samskaras, which means impressions in a subconscious mind, which determine where they're born and what their inclination is. So because of his samskaras, because he was cursed in his previous life to take birth as a demon by who? Parvati. So then he took birth as a demon. But so these stories talk about human beings have many lifetimes. So reincarnation is described in this story. People go from life to life, and it shows that you take birth because of karma, good karma and bad karma. So in his previous life he had bad karma, so he got cursed because he had bad behavior. Behavior is action, so action has a reaction. So he laughed at the husband of Parvati, Shiva, but his mentality wasn't envious, wasn't offensive. But Parvati took it that way. So what we can learn from this is people will take offense in our behavior, or even when we say, although we're not offensive mentality. So it's interesting, the side point about this whole thing. There's so many lessons here that are in this story. So we think we're not making offenses, but other people are thinking we're making offenses. And so we may not suffer in this life, but we'll suffer in the next life. Because Chitraketu made that offense he was a king in his last life. He was a Vaishnava king. What was his name? Chitraketu. And he was a worshipper of Vishnu. He was a great singer. Anybody has a phone? You have a phone?
Yes.
Look up Vidyadhara. Vidya, Dhara. Vidyadhara is some kind of subtle being, but I don't know if they have wings or not. You can check out, look up what is a Vidyadhara. There's different kinds of beings in higher planets. Some are called siddhas, some are called charanas.
Yes, they have wings.
Some are called vidyadharas, some are called apsaras. You heard these terms?
Yes.
So it's not all one. There's apsaras, one kind of being. They live in different regions and they have different bodily forms. So what does it say about vidyadhara?
Yes, he has wings.
What else? They have mind, they have body, human.
Refers to wise semi-divine beings in Indian religion, known as
What region?
Indian
Indian region.
Indian religion,
Oh, Indian religion, okay.
known as
The
knowledge,
translator of the translator.
known as knowledge holders.
What?
Knowledge holders.
Knowledge of what?
Knowledge holders. Vidyadharas
Well,
are knowledge
Dharma.
holders.
What's the word Dharma mean?
To hold.
Give me examples of the name.
Vamsi,
What is Earth called?
Vasundhara.
Dharani Mata. You ever heard that?
Yes,
What's Balaram's name?
Haladar.
What's Krishna's name?
Muralidar.
Giridhar.
Giridhari Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Govardhan Maharaj. So this is Dara. So Vidyadhara means holding knowledge of what?
Sanskrit. Knowledge holder in Sanskrit.
So Chitraketu was a Vidyadhara, a higher being in higher planetary regions. He was a Vaishnava, but he made an offense, but he wasn't conscious. It wasn't his mentality and his heart was not offensive. Because he knows that she was also a godbrother, is also a Vaishnava. She was the devotee of Sankarshan. What about Chitraketu? He's also a devotee of Sankarshan. So they have the same Ishtadevata. So he's not an offensive person. What was Chitraketu? What was Ritasura doing as Chitraketu? What was his occupation?
King.
He was the king. Well, what was he doing? He was flying around in an airplane singing the glories of Vishnu with his wives. He wasn't having Rasila with his wives or, filming content for his Facebook, X-rated movies or something. He was singing the glories of Vishnu. But he saw Parvati sitting on Shiva's lap, and so he thought that was a little odd, so he just kind of laughed. But he wasn't thinking that any negative or offensive way. But Parvati took it that way, because you're laughing at my husband, because she didn't know his mentality, she didn't know, so people don't know what you're thinking. No one knows your mentality. There's something called assumption. Assumption gets people in a lot of trouble. You're assuming people read your mind, assuming people read your heart. No one's going to read your mind or read your heart unless you tell them what's going on there. So a lot of people are suffering from offenses in this life, which they made in last life, because of wrong behavior, wrong actions, or because someone took offense and cursed them. So in this case, the person, Chitraketu, didn't do anything wrong, so he shouldn't have offense, but he got cursed. So the curse had a reaction to the curse, because it wasn't anybody, small person that cursed him. It was the material, the goddess of the material energy. What do you call it? Devi Mata, Devi Dam Mata, Devi Dam Rani. In Brahma Samhita it talks about Haridam. Where's Haridam? Haridam, where's that?
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha. Where's Devi Dam?
Earth.
No, universe.
What?
Material universe.
Material world is called Devi Dam. So what's Naradam?
Bhu-lok.
Yeah. And we say Naradama. What's that verse in Gita? 7th chapter. Naradama. There's 4 kinds of people in surrender.
Yes. Chaturvid.
That's the good guys.
Rakshasi Masirim Seva Prakriti Mohinim
That's right.
Prapadyante Narad. Namam Dushkritino Muda
Namam Dushkritino Muda
Prapadyante
Naradhama. Naradhama.
Rakshasi Masirim Seva Prakriti Mohinim Shita.
It's Naradhama.
Yes. First one is Naradhama and then Rakshasi.
Naradhama. So he lives in a...
He's lowest of the human beings.
Yeah, Adam. So anyway.
Yes.
So Naradam is lovely. So anyway, back to the point. So now this human being was a king and he was a Vaishnava. He got cursed by Parvati, became a demon Richasura. But his samskars carried over from his previous life. So this story is proving Bhagavad Gita chapter 6:44. Purvabhyasena
Kaunteya Hriyate Yavasho Pisa.
Riyate Yavasho Ashu. Yavashu.
Pisa.
Yavashu. Ashu means quickly. So whatever you did in your previous life, you'll start that practice in your next life. So the example, so that's Tantra. What's the philosophy? Philosophy is repeated throughout the Bhagavatam. Here's another example in 6th Canto Bhagavatam. Chitraketu was a Vaishnava. He became born a demon. What's another example of that? Then the next canto.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. Was he a Vaishnava?
Yes.
No.
You're pure devotee.
Yeah, he's.
How do you get born in a demon? How do you take birth in a demon family?
He did parikrama of the temple unknowingly.
Or how do you get birth in a demon family? He's born in a demon family. I think, if I remember it correctly, it was the Shringa Chaturdasi. He had his girlfriend. It was an abandoned Nishinga temple in the forest. He went in the temple and had a relationship, intimacy with his girlfriend. So because of that, he made an offense to the mandir and to the Nishinga. He took birth to the Vadiyak family, already Kashipu. These chronic stories like that. Because there has to be everything, every result has a cause. So why is he born in a divine family? So, you should know. You can ask GPT. Oh, Chat, please tell me, why was Prahlad born in a demoniac family? They got 20 different Puranic stories. In different colors, it goes a different way. So, there you have it. So then he's a great devotee of Vishnu, and who, when his father was harassing him, who came to save him? The guy that cursed him. The Sri cursed him because he did dances in the temple, but he was a devotee, so he was pure devotee, so he saved. So that's part of the lesson. Now, the other lesson we're going to hear in these chapters is about husbands and wives. Husbands and wives have children, and they get attached to their children, and the children give them great happiness. And if the children die suddenly, then the children cause great lamentation and sadness. So this is all about us. There's so many Vyasa ladies and Vaishnavas out there. So Chitraketu was like that. He was ISKCON devotee. So, not like that, but maybe, I don't know. He wasn't, but he was married, didn't have any kids, got a kid, and what another reality is in this world, envy.
Oh, yes.
So the other queens are envious that now my husband is paying attention to the other queens, not me. So it's because of this kid, he's ignoring me, so I'll kill the kid. So it shows you envy can go so crazy, envy can become so hateful, it leads to murder. It's called love-hate relationship. Love can turn to hate, hate can turn to murder. A queen, your own wife will murder your child. So this is a lot of humanity here. This humanity revealed here. So we have to be very careful about these things. And we learn about bodily attachment, we learn about the difference between Atma and body. So all these lessons we're hearing and reading, who are they for?
For us.
They're for us. Because we're subject to wrong mentalities, we're subject to wrong behavior, even though we don't think it's wrong, but somebody will take it to be wrong. We're moving through the world thinking we're assuming, oh, I'm doing all right, I have a good attitude, a behavior, but we're affecting people in a negative way. So people are negatively thinking about us, so then they're cursing us mentally. Like Parvati cursed Chitraketu. So we may be getting cursed by different people, which will retard or block our advancement in bhakti. So that's why behavior is so important. It's so much emphasized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should learn the proper etiquette and always behave. Don't be naive or take shelter. I'm a new devotee. I'm young. I can get away with things. We can't assume those type of ideas. So now we're on chapter 13 of 6th Canto. Because there's different people getting different things here. Vrijasura got killed by Indra, but Indra killed a Brahmin, so he got reaction for that. So his reaction is that this is what this chapter is about. So here's a summary of it. He written this little repeating here. When the Devatas asked Indra to kill Vrijasura because he kicked him out of the kingdom and was taking charge of the universe, he was afraid to do that because he had the experience before of killing a Brahmin who was Vishwarup. And when he did that, what happened to that time?
He gave reaction to earth, women, trees.
4 burdens he gave.
No, when he killed Vishwarup, what was the reaction he got for killing that?
He got simple reaction. He suffered. And then he destroyed.
How he got the eyes? Eyes. 1,000 eyes all over his body. They weren't eyes, they were vaginas. So how they became eyes? Somebody cursed him. Some sage cursed him because he was exploited his wife. So the sage said, "You're so crazy about this thing, so you cover your body." So he said, "Please, this is kind of embarrassing." So he said, "Okay, I'll make them eyes." So that's why I see paintings of Indra with 1,000 eyes all over his body. That's not normal. So Vishwarup, he got just what was his reaction. I don't know what the reaction was. Anyway, he was sitting, he killed a Brahmin, so his reaction. So he passed the reaction on other people. So now he killed another Brahmin, so now he's afraid of the reaction. Because he's always making offenses, always getting in trouble, and getting cursed in different ways, so now he's hiding. So he goes to Mansarovar and hides in a lotus stem. Why is he hiding in the lotus stem?
So that nobody can see us.
As it says in some Shastra, that Lakshmi Devi resides in Mansarovar in lotus stems. That's why she's always carrying a lotus flower in her hand. All Shaktis of Vishnu carry a lotus flower in her right hand to give blessings Radharani carries a lotus flower in her right hand. What for?
To fight Krishna.
For what's it called?
Lila Kamala.
It's called Lila Kamal. The A is silent. It's called the Dhamma. Arjun. The A is there, but it's a Sanskrit term. It's called silent A. Arjun, Kamal, not Kamala. If you're talking about Lakshmi Devi, you say Kamala. You say Ram, who's that? Who's Ram?
Form of Vishnu.
Bhagavan Shri Bhagavan.
Bhagavan.
Who's Rama?
Rama is Lakshmi.
Who's Rama? Sita Devi. Who's Krishna?
Krishna is Bhagavan.
Who's Krishna?
Draupadi.
You're really smart. Draupadi.
Yes.
You got to, what's the point I'm making?
That different the end, different the person.
Long A at the end is feminine. So it's Kamal Lotus, or not Kamal Lotus. Kamala is Lakshmi, who holds the Kamal. Kamala holds the Kamal. So he's hiding there. Who's chasing him?
This that lady with tuberculosis.
Jara.
Jara. Yes.
Jara, old age, got tuberculosis. And she was coughing up blood and really ugly, horrible stuff. So he killed a Brahmin, Brishasura, and he got attacked by old age. There's a verse in 10 Canto that says, talking about Kamsa killing all the children of Devaki and Vasudeva. It said you lose your lifespan gets reduced. We already discussed that the other day. So then that's what happened. So the summaries here. So David just said he came out of that lotus stem. David said, we'll do an Ashramana Yajna and counteract that sin by pleasing Narayan. So he got free from the sin of killing Vrishasura, but not from the tendency to make mistakes. Okay, that's basically what it says in this chapter. Let's see what we got. Any good points in this chapter? All kinds of this. How many years did Indra live in the lotus stem?
10,000.
It says 1,000 here in my book. Verse 15. Verse 15 is different than mine? So there's a benediction, Shruti Pala, on this chapter 13. If someone reads about this purification and victory of Indra on Ekadasi or Sankranti or Purnima, etc., he'll get wealth and fame and freedom from sins, victory, long life, and good fortune. Okay, good. We want all this stuff too. Where's my rock? Oh, there's my rock. Okay, let's go on to chapter 14. Okay. Full house, got 50 devotees in class today. It's really inspiring. 40 devotees, 30 devotees. So Parikshit asked Sukadeva, his guru, how a demon Rishasura was such an exalted devotee. So everyone has a previous life. Who's ever listening to the class had a previous life before. So we're going to hear about the previous life of Rishasura Chitraketu. He was a king, he got married, and he didn't have any kids, so he got blessing, got Ashirvad from a great Muni. Who was that Muni? Angira Rishi. And so one wife got pregnant and gave birth to a kid. But Angira Muni told him a clever thing, but she couldn't hear because he was so excited. He got the blessing to have a kid. He said, your kid will, you give two names to your kid. Call him Harsha and Shok. So all he thought, because we have a phrase in English, a person hears what they want to hear and disregard the rest. Like, for example, you meet someone and they say one good thing about you. They say, you know, you're a great devotee, but they say about 20 different things that are true, which are embarrassing and shameful. And so then you meet someone later and say, do you know Krishnadas? Oh yeah, he likes me. So what did he say about you? He said, I'm a great devotee. You say anything else? No. You sure that's all he said? So we hear what we like to hear and disregard the rest. Like you often talk about the gurus. Disciples talk about the guru. Great child. Oh, you know, Guru, they told me I'm this and that and this and that. I'm great and I'm this and that. And so the disciples get envious of each other. But the disciple doesn't tell the God brothers and God sisters what the native things the Guru said. You're stupid, you're nonsense, you know, you don't know, you haven't memorized any shlokas, and you're embarrassment, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But, so see how the tendency to wipe out what the truth is. What's going on? Monkey.
Doggy.
How you get inside? Hey, buddy. Let him go, he's cool. Yes. Is your doggy? He's looking for Saki. He wants tomatoes. Okay. So like that. So what's going on in chapter 14? So, you know, so Angira told her son, I'll give you, we call him Harsha Shok. So he was so happy and elated that my wife had a son, but the other girls became envious. Well, if you describe men or women, what are the two major qualities of, what's the major quality of men?
Ego, pride.
Right.
Pride. What's the major quality of women?
Envy.
Envy. So in the 6th Canto of Bhagavatam, we hear about the envious girls, the envious queens. They poisoned to death, they murdered the son of their husband because of envy of another queen. Just see how far it goes. It sounds like some story out of the Daily News from New York City or something. This is thousands of millions of years ago. So Vidyadharas, we looked up on the internet, Vidyadharas, which what Chitraketu was, he was a Vidyadhara king. They're human form, but they have wings, like angels, angel type. Vidyadharas, and they're full, where the name Vidyadhara means one who holds or contains Vidya. So the primary Vidya they have is, what Vidya is, are they knowing?
Sanskrit.
What's yours? I don't know what.
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit, but That's a language, not a particular branch of. That's everyone. First of all, Sanskrit is called Deva Bhasha. Why is it called Deva Bhasha?
Is the language that they speak.
Because everybody speaks Sanskrit. So that's not a particular science or a particular speciality of knowledge. So he's called Vidyadhara. He calls knowledge the language that speaks is Sanskrit. So the answer is wrong. So if someone says you're from America, what do you know? English. Well, you're Indian. What knowledge you have? Hindi. Well, everybody has that. So computer science, finance, education, technology. So what knowledge did Vidyadharas have?
Flying.
Vedas.
Sangeet
Oh,
Veda. Sangeet Veda. What does that mean?
Singing Veda.
Singing.
The knowledge of singing and musical instruments. So that's what he was doing. He was flying in a solar airplane, singing and playing veena and flutes and pakawachas and all kinds of drums with his wives glorifying Krishna. So now, this is the chapter summary. So after the kid was poisoned, then Chitraketu lamented he was overwhelmed because of why?
Because he lost his son.
Because he was very
Because of bodily attachment. He was attached to the body of his son. So attachment to material bodies is the cause of lamentation, unhappiness, misery, distress. First verse, read the Sanskrit, chapter 14.
Rajastamasvabhavasya.
No, second verse.
Devanam shuddha sattvanam krishinaam chamalatmanam bhaktir mukunda charane naprayenopajayate.
What part of the verse means devotion to Krishna? Where's your book? You don't have a book? Sorry, mantra comes out again. What phrase in the verse 2?
Bhakti Mukunda.
Bhaktir mukunda charane.
Ceremony. Okay. What phrase means pure minds. What Sanskrit word means pure minds?
Shuddha Sattvanam.
What do you say?
Amalatmanam.
What did you say?
I said Shuddha Sattvanam.
No, where's mind there?
Amala.
What does Amala mean?
Pure.
Without
What?
any dirt.
Amala. What do you say?
Pure.
Means no dirt. Mala means dirt. Ama means no dirt. Atma means, what does the word Atma mean?
Mind, heart, soul.
Yeah.
Body.
Body of. Okay. Let's go on here. This is verse 5, Sanskrit. Everyone together.
Muktanam apishidanam nayana prayana sudurlabha prasantatma kodisvavi mahamune.
This is the most important verse in the 6th canto. The most important verse in the 6th canto. It talks about cities, multi-cities. There's two types of spiritualists described in this verse. Who are they?
People who are in the Brahman, liberated in Brahman, compared with devotees of Narayana in different races.
Mukta.
Two types of spiritualists described here, Awaitins and Vaishnavas. Personalists and impersonalists. So, Jivan Mukta, Sadurlavam, it's very rare. What's the translation? Greater than us for Jivan Mukta and greater than us for attaining liberation is the devotee of Narayan. Such a devotee who is Shanta or other rasas is very rare among 10 million people. Koti means millions. Many millions, 10, 5, 8, whatever. Okay, let's look at verse page 264. Gyan mixed with, there's two types of Gyan. Mixed with Bhakti. In other words, if you don't mix some Bhakti with your Gyan, you won't attain anything, any type of siddhi or perfection. So one Gyani, one Advaitin is following Advaita path of Advaita Marga, impersonal practices, but mixing some Bhakti there, but doesn't respect Krishna, Vishnu's form. He considers the form material. Why is he doing worshipping and meditating on the form?
For the beginning, just to fix the mind on form, but then they think that after when Brahman is realized, form doesn't matter anymore.
Almost. The reason that Gyanis or Advaitins do Samarchan Puja of Vishnu form, Archan, Murti Puja, is because the tendency of the mind cannot meditate on nothing. Mind has to have an object, a vastu, to fix itself on. A candle flame, the tip of your nose, the lowest visual mandala, a Buddhist meditation mandala, a yantra, the Lakshmi yantra, Shri yantra, whatever. Some object, some geometric design, or some physical, some shape, length, and width, some object. So when they choose the form of Vishnu or Krishna or Ram, etc., even worship the Murti, but they're thinking this form is a form of Brahman. When Brahman takes form, when Brahman takes a temporary material form to facilitate my meditation, that's called Gyan mixed with Bhakti with offensive mentality, because the form of Krishna is eternal and spiritual. So, the second Gyani mixes Bhakti with his Gyan mark, but he accepts that the form of Krishna is spiritual. But his objective in worshipping the form is what?
To realize Brahman, to imagine Brahman.
Realize Brahman, Brahmajyoti. Let's see Prabhupada's commentary on this verse. Okay. This verse has this word, Koti. What does it say? Koti. Koti what?
Kotishvapi Mahamuni.
Koti Munis. Koti Munis. Millions of sages and munis. So, Bhattacharya quotes Tantra Bhagavat. Nava Kotyas Tudevanam Rishya Saptakotaya. Rayanaya Sarve Ye Kechit Tat Prayana. There are 90 million devatas and 70 million rishis, who are devotees of Narayan. Among them, a couple are Parayana. What is the difference between being a Narayan Bhakta and Narayan Parayana?
Narayana Parayana means he doesn't have anything except Narayana. But Narayana Bhakta, he has many other things also.
That's right. What do you say?
Narayana Parayana means that he doesn't have anything else except Narayana.
Well, it's the Narayan Bhakta.
And they have other things also.
First example of Narayan Bhakta.
Chitraketu?
Devatas, Indra.
Chitraketu, Indra. They have Vishnu, like a lot of stuff going on too. Then, of course, the verse, there's a difference between Siddha, because it says, the verse says, how's it start? Koti Siddha, the first one, Muktanam Siddha. So it's talking about Muktanam Siddhas. So the difference between a Siddha and Narayan Parayana is direct devotees to Narayan Parayana. Those who are into yoga in these different cities are called the Siddhas. Okay, let's go on here. Now we're in a new chapter. Where are we? That's what verse is that?
5.
14, boy. Okay, verse 6. What's the phrase that means causing suffering to others?
Lokopatapana.
Sarva.
Sarva lokapana.
What's the word for suffering?
Tapana. Tapana.
What does tapana mean?
Suffering.
Heat.
The word tap means fire.
Fire, yes.
Varikasi. What is fixed in Krishna?
Dridamati Krishna.
Asta.
What does mati mean?
Mind.
Not say all the time.
Yes.
It's a parrot echo program now. You're a Brahmin pundit, you should know. We know you know. It's not for you. What is fixed?
Drida.
What are you? Not fixed. Dridamati. Dridamati means fixed mind. Your mind is fixed? I don't think so. Chanchla Devana Krishna
Pramadi
Pramati.
Balabhadrudam Tasyaham Nigraham Manye Vayoriva Sudushkaram.
Oh Krishna, the mind is very difficult to control. It seems more difficult to control than the wind. Sound familiar? Yes. Very familiar. Verse 17. Okay, let's see what we got here. 17. Read the Sanskrit for 17.
Apite namayam swasti prakriti nam tatatmana yatha prakriti virgupta puman raja cha saptabhi.
Read the translation.
Angira said, do you have health, good fortune and ministers? Just as man is protected by 7 elements, the king is protected by 7 elements.
So this verse, what's the main teaching? What's the principle being taught here?
Like a jiva is incomplete without the 7 elements, even the
I'm not talking about the details of the verse, I'm talking about the principle.
After visiting, Angira is immediately asking the welfare of king.
Yeah, that's the answer. What did he say?
he's Angira, as he's visiting, he's asking about his kingdom welfare.
In the Mahabharata, Vidura meets, who is it? Narada meets Yudhishthira. And he says, Vijayati, I forget the when he meets her, he says, how are you doing in your endeavor to conquer repeated birth and death? This is how Yudhishthira addressed Narada Muni. So when it's called behavior. So when you meet a person, you inquire about them respectfully according to their position. So it's a rishi sage already. You say, oh, how's your bhajan? Or you can have, with a general question, how is your health? Whenever we met Gurudev, you and I meet him every day, he said, how is your health? Yeah, you just saw me the day before, and I don't look sick, so he knows. But this is a way of showing respect and interest. So, now, who is meaning who here? Angira, who is meaning who?
Angira is
meaning kingdom.
So he's meaning a king. So when you meet a king, you say, how is your kingdom? So it means how's your family? How are your ministers? How are the people? How are your enemies? How is your money? How is your fields? How is your production? What's your GNP? What does that mean?
Gross net profit.
Yeah, so many things means gross national production or something. GNP of a country, gross national, I don't know.
GDP, gross domestic product.
GDP, Gurudev.
Huh?
Yeah,
GDP.
GDP. Yeah. Gross, in India it is GDP, they say.
Like, what do you mean?
Gross domestic product.
Okay. So the rest, the things roots of the country are pretty gross. That's funny. Because that's 3 Prophets commentary on 17. The king is not alone. First he has his guru. And then comes his ministers, his kingdom, his armies, his treasury, his system of law and order, his friends, allies. If these 7 are maintained, the king is happy. So similarly, a living entity also has alliances. The soul is covered with Mahatma. So there's 7 covered. This Sridhar Swami's commentary, very interesting. A jiva, Atma, is covered with 7 coverings, as the king is surrounded by 7 personalities or 7 things. 7 things surrounding the king. So 7 coverings are a jiva. Mahatattva, ego, pancha tanmatra. What's pancha tanmatra?
All these things, false ego,
5 senses.
intelligence,
5
5
senses.
We said ego already. There's 7 coverings. One is
Mahantattva.
Mahatattva, 2 ego. Panchatattva,
Panchatanmatras.
well,
Senses.
I don't know.
5 senses.
Yeah. Panchatanmatras are the 5 objects or something. I remember. When these 7 are in proper order, living entities happy. When the associates of the king are quiet and obedient, the king will be happy. So when you meet a guru, you say, how are your disciples? When I meet Hari Charan, he often says, how is your health? how are your disciples? And don't ask me. So it's like that. Hey, Baba, Radhe Shyam.
Radhe Shyam, sweetie.
Hi, Baba. Okay. So the sage Rishi is asking Chitraketu about his personal health and the good fortune of his 7 associates. So when we ask a friend if he's okay or she's okay, we're not only concerned about their friend, but also their family, their money, their assistants and servants. It's like I talk to someone, I said, how are you? How's your father? Because they live with their father. How's your mother? Like that. How's your sister? Okay. How's your work? That's just natural. But the Guru is talking to someone, how's your bhajan? And he also asks about health and all that. So let's go on more here. So you can see how many lessons of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam gives us lessons in etiquette and behavior, how to greet people, how to inquire from people. So we read the summary, so you know what's the content of the chapter. Okay, that's the end of chapter 15. Let's read a summary for chapter 15. So chapter 14, King Chitraketu got a son. The co-wives poisoned and killed his son. And the king is lamenting. And Girish came and preached to him. And Narada Muni also came. So there's chapter summary here. VVT. So to give him a son, it only took one rishi. But to pull him out of Maya, it took 2. So sometimes if you're a Maya, one Vaishnava, one guru, one teacher may not be enough to get out of Maya. Because King Chitraketu Manangirishi said, I don't have any kids, I had 1,000 of wives, no kids, can you give me a kid? So he blessed him and gave him a kid. Now he got attached to the kid, and the kid died in infancy, and he's lamenting, he's unhappy. He's really attached to the body, he's totally in Maya, totally in the bodily platform, like most of us. And so then Angirishi said, my disciples in Maya, you think you better come with me, it's going to take both of us. Take one of us to pull him out. So Narada Muni, he's a Bhakti avatar. Avatar of Bhakti is Narada Muni. So he, personification of Bhakti Tattva, came to rescue the great Vaishnava Chitraketu, who was heavily in Maya. So the idea is, if your son godbrothers in Maya, you should go with 2 godbrothers to rescue him. Or some god sisters in Maya, don't go alone, go with 2. So you gang up on them. What do you want to say?
No, but in 27th verse, previous chapter, he said Chitraketu performed sacrifice for Tvasta. Forgetting, sir.
So you came to perform sacrifice to Tvasta.
Yeah, and he became son of Tvasta in next.
Wait, I'm blessed. I thought Angira blessed him.
In 27, it
No,
is said.
he did sacrifice where he offered that sweet rice, and the offering was done to Twatsa sacrifice.
No,
Yes.
Angira Muni blessed him of his son. To get the son, he did a sacrifice to the Yajna.
Yes, good.
And the Yajna worshipped Twasta.
Yeah.
Angira performed sacrifice for Tvasta and he gave the result for.
Why?
Because Tvashta is for progeny, I think, Guruji.
Huh?
For progeny.
Devata, Tvashta, the Devata is for progeny or something.
It's for progeny. It's Prajapati type.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good deal.
And he became the son in next life of Tvashta.
Okay. He became Richard Sir. Alright, I see you understand.
Okay.
They're really connected, tight connection like Indian families, you know. That's actually brought out in the chapter, in this teaching in chapter 15. Today's mother was your mother this life, last life was your daughter. It's not a joke, it's true. It's just like billiard balls on a billiard table. You hit one ball, and hits another ball, and all balls are bouncing around, going different holes, different pockets they call pockets, billiard pockets. So we're bouncing around life after life, like billiard balls on a table, going this pocket, that pocket, this pocket, that pocket. So this life on the husband, next life on the wife. This life on the daughter, next life on the mother. Like the daughter's complaining, my mother's beating me up. If she ever becomes my daughter, I'm going to give her hell. So she becomes your daughter. Next life, you give her hell. And you just get locked in that karma for life after life now. Until somebody comes along and says, you're a Maya, give up all this bodily attachment and worship Krishna. So let's read it. Give me some water. Sorry. Well, let me fill this out. Chapter summary, chapter 15. So Narada Muni and Angarishi went to break Chitraketu's lamentation by speaking Atma Tattva again, knowledge about the reality of the Atma. They said, listen, this relationship with your kid did not exist in your last life, nor will exist in the future. By the arrangement of time, relationship exists only in the present, which should not lament for temporary relationships. Everything created in the material world is temporary. You're suffering because you're absorbed in the bodily conception of life. One understands his spiritual identity and surrenders to Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, then one will become happy. One who is looking for happiness in material energy or material relationships will always lament. Self-realization means to realize one's relationship with Bhagavan Sri Krishna. When one gets this realization and lives in this realization, then he ends his life of misery and lives a life of bliss. Kela Ananda Kanda. In verse 2, Prabhupada's commentary, he said, at present moment, all so-called relationships are illusion. My father, my mother, my brother. You're my nothing.
Yes.
That Maya is the illusion. Maya, all you have to do is add two A's to that word. A after M, A after Y. Maya husband, Maya mother, Maya brother. You say my brother, my father, but M-A-Y-A, Maya brother, Maya father, Maya Well, it's church by my father, but it's not exactly said correctly. It should be Maya father. Maya means, Maya means what?
What is not?
That means that which is not. Ma means not. Ya means that. Ma means not. Na ma means same. Maya means that which is not. This is not my father. Who's your father?
Krishna.
Krishna. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadan, Shadavan Jane, Shadavan Jane. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadan, Krishna my mother, my father, my wife. Okay, now, verse 25, read the Sanskrit.
Yes. Ayam hi dehi no deho dravya jnana kriyatmaka dehi no vividha klesha santapa krutudha kruta.
The body of the jiva, the things they are the body, is composed of material bodily parts, sense devatas and senses. It is said that this body gives different types of suffering and pain to the jiva. Let's look at Prabhupada's commentary on verse 25 of chapter 15. It's pretty warm today, huh?
I'm sweating.
This is commentary. So get us some cold water.
We're a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Everything material is a mental concoction. Your body is a mental concoction. It's sometimes visible and sometimes not. There you have it. Let's see. 658. Okay. Okay, here comes the good stuff here. The entire material creation is based on mental concoction. They say material creation is a figment of your imagination. It's a dream. Living entities creates the material condition because the material world is destructible. Through material condition, living entity suffers. When one comes to the spiritual platform of spiritual life, it realizes they're a spiritual being. They're no more affected by lamenting or hankering. Brahma Bhuta Prasnatma Nasoshati Nakashati
Samat sarveshu
Shubhakteshu
bhuteshu
Madbhakti
madbhakti
Namate
brahma.
Bhagavad Gita, 18, what is it? 54. 1854 says, one who is in the spiritual platform realizes Brahman and becomes joyful. Prasanatma. Never laments or desires to have anything. Seva is bliss. Keep doing seva. That's it for chapter 15. Next week read chapter 16, 17, 18. And always be happy and always be joyful. And always serve Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Ram.